Morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Good to see everybody. I hope everybody had a good weekend. It was so hot. Right now I have a fan on in my house because I don't have air conditioning. Boo. So the sound might be a little bit different today than normal. So we are going to get crafty. It is Monday, thank goodness. And I have an idea for something that we can make to use when we're outside. So I know that everybody knows how to play Tic Tac Toe. X's and O's, 3 in a row. You know how that works. Normally you do it on paper. This time we are going to make one for the outdoors. So I have a list of materials of things you're going to need. So here we go. First things first, you're going to need some paintbrushes and some paint. I just get this acrylic paint at the dollar store. Most dollar stores have it, Dollarama. I recommend 3 colors for what we're doing today. It can be any 3 colors you want. I went with black, white, and red. I also grabbed some Mod Podge as a finishing, but I also like to use at home a clear spray that you can buy at Walmart or at Home Depot or Canadian Tire. It's just a nice clear coat so that when we put our project outside and it gets hit by the rain and the weather, it'll stand up to all of the elements and it'll last a little bit longer. So we have 2 options for that. It's going to be either podge or this clear spray. Then you're going to need a ruler and a pencil. You're going to need somewhere to put your paint. I use an old canvas board that I don't use anymore, and I just throw all my paint on it and then it dries and I can layer it. It's quite heavy. I had to go looking for a couple different things. I have some wood in my backyard from a tree that was cut down last year, and my husband had cut a couple of the wood rounds out for me. So I grabbed one of those because I'm going to use this. But I also grabbed just a regular piece of wood like this because this is also fine. You can also purchase from the dollar store either like a wooden cutting board. Sometimes they even have wooden plaques that you can buy yourself or little wooden rounds. You can use either any of those and that will be perfectly fine. And I also went out into my backyard the other day and I found some rocks. I found 9 total because you need a total of 9 rocks to play tic-tac-toe because there's only 9 spaces. So after I did that, I took them and I rinsed them in some water and then I just dried them on this paper towel. They're not completely clean. So your hands are probably going to get a tiny bit dirty unless you do a better job than Miss Edmonds. So first things first, I'll show you how to do it on this small wood board and then on the other one. We're going to draw the lines for tic-tac-toe. That's what your ruler and your pencil are for. So you're going to put your ruler on the board and you're going to draw 2 vertical lines like this on your board. They don't have to be exact. It's like a rustic tic-tac-toe. So there's the 2 vertical lines. And then you turn it the opposite way and you're going to do 2 horizontal lines. I want to try to make sure that the squares are big enough that you can put rocks inside of them. I'll show you kind of what I have done there. So you can see it. I did 4 lines like that. I'm going to do the same thing on my other board. This one will be good for my kids, for outside in the backyard, and for me and my friends when I come over and we're just hanging out. I'll draw the lines again. So I'm going to do the horizontal lines first this time. This is a bigger piece of wood so we can make bigger spaces. I'm going to turn it and then do the opposite way. Like this. And then like this. I'll hold it up. They're not exact. This corner here is a little bit smaller, but it's okay. All right? So the next thing you're going to do after that is you're going to take your paint and you're going to get your color that you want to use for your board and you're going to paint down the lines for the actual tic-tac-toe. So let's do that. It's really a preference thing for paintbrushes, so just find one that you like or you have at home. Anyone will do. You can also buy them at the dollar store. Dry my paintbrush off a little bit so I don't have a lot of extra water. And I'm just going to paint in my lines. Okay, so I painted the lines on this one. You can use it however you want. And I also painted the lines on this guy. Oops, put my finger in the paint. Be careful about that. It's still not wet or dry. And I'm going to put them to the side so that they can dry while we work on the next part. All right. So the next part is, one moment. All right. The next part is the other important part of Tic Tac Toe is the X's and the O's. You need the board, and then you need the X's and the O's. So we are going to create some of those now. So what you're going to do is on the 9 rocks that you have, on the 9 rocks that you have, you're going to lay them flat, and on each one, you're going to write an X. I'm going to choose white for my X's and red for my O's. I have seen a couple different options where instead of painting X's and O's on the rocks, you can paint like bumblebees and ladybugs, and it's the same idea. It's tic-tac-toes, and either you're the ladybug or you're the bumblebee. You'd need more stones at that point to do this, but we're doing it this way with 9 stones, so we can use the same 9 stones for the game. So we're going to get some white paint out onto my board. You usually don't need a lot. I've been putting out a little bit too much paint. I'm going to grab a paintbrush that you like, and we're just going to create some X's. Okay, so each of my 9 rocks now have little X's on it. The next thing I have to do is let them dry so that they can be flipped over so we can do the O's. So I will be back in a couple minutes when these guys are dry, and we will continue on to the next part. While I'm waiting for this to dry, my boards are dry over here. Told you it was hot in my house. So I'm going to take them outside, and I'm going to spray them with my clear spray. Just one quick coat. It'll dry quite fast as well. It doesn't need to be a very thick coat. And when I come back, we'll continue on. And I'll show you what you can do with the podge on the smaller board. Hey guys, I'm back. The stones are dry. I sealed my wood round, so it's a little bit shiny. It's still drying a tiny bit. I'm going to do the O's on the back of these rocks. We're going to podge our other board, and then we're going to basically be done. We're going to have 2 tic-tac-toe boards you can take outside and you can use while you're sitting on your porch. You can put them on your front porch, you can put it on your back porch, you can play with your friends or your family. Might be hard to social distance and play, so probably play with your family. But tic-tac-toe is a very simple game. You can teach your family if they don't know how to play. But like I said, I'm going to do the O's on the back of these rocks, and then we'll be back. Okay, so we have the O's on the one side that I just painted that need to dry still, and then the X's are on the other side. So we have the O's and the X's. We're going to let these guys dry. I'm going to push them to the side and put my paint board away. And I'm going to grab our other board. It looks like the paint is still slightly wet, so you need to make sure that it's dry before you start. So we're going to make sure. But I'm going to show you what we're going to do with Podge. So Mod Podge also can be purchased at the dollar store, can be purchased at Michael's, and also Walmart. I've seen it. So if you want to go with Mod Podge instead of the clear spray that I use, that's totally fine and understandable. This one you guys can do yourself. The clear spray you might need to ask mom or dad or a brother or sister if they can help you with the spray can, because we don't want dye getting in our faces, and we probably should wear protective equipment while we're doing it. So, Mod Podge, back to that. You use this basically like a clear coat. So it goes on kind of cloudy, but then it comes out clear. And if you can get the Mod Podge open, that's usually ideal. Okay, so back to the Podge. I had a hard time opening this one, unfortunately. I've used it before, and when the Podge sticks to the top where the lid is, it gets stuck. So, problem solving. If you ever have this problem where you have Podge that you've used at home but you can't get the lid open, just run it under some hot water from your sink, your tap, and it loosens it up, and then you can open it. So I got it open. Ta-da! Alright, so I have a big chunk of clear stuff at the top that I don't want to use. I'm going to make sure I get another paintbrush, probably a bigger one so you can cover more area. Doing the same thing, you can put some on a board so that you have it. Oh, shoot. You can put some on a board, or you can put a lot on a board like Miss Edmonds just did. It looks not clear on the board, but when you take it and you rub it on the board, it goes on in a cloudy coat, and then it'll dry to a clear finish. So I'm just going to do that right now, making sure I don't spill my Podge. And again, try to make sure that your paint is all dry, otherwise you might have a couple smudges. It looks like I have a couple little smudges here. It's okay. It adds to the effect. It's rustic. Okay. I'm going to make sure I put this over here so that it doesn't get anywhere. And I don't get in trouble. Nobody wants to get in trouble for making a mess. Make sure you clean up a mess, or make sure you prepare a space that you are allowed to make a mess in while you're crafting. Probably should have talked about that at the very beginning. Anyways, so it has a clear coat on it right now. It's a little glossy. As you guys can see at the very top there, my paint was still a little bit wet. So when you go to put something wet on something wet, it then smudges it. But I'm okay with it. I'm going to just leave it. I think it's going to look fine when it's done. I ended up pulling some of the black down afterwards so that you have a little black all the way through. But anyways, you let this dry and it'll finish to a nice clear coat. You probably want to finish all the sides, especially if you're taking it outside, so that it does resist all water damage. Okay, so once the top coat is dry, you'll do the sides and the bottom. And then once that's completely dry, you'll have your board. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you again. Here's my wood round that I clear coated earlier. Oops. And then I have my X's and my O's. And then we can play Tic Tac Toe. I win. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this activity this week. Next week we'll do something fun. I promise. I'm already planning it out. I hope that everybody has a wonderful week. It's going to be hot if you go outside. Please make sure you're wearing hat, sunscreen, and drink lots and lots of water. It's great to be outside, especially in the nice weather, but we need to remember that we need to be safe and protect ourselves as well. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, and stay home. And we'll see you next week, guys. Bye.